My name is Keith McIntyre. I pastor the Independent Baptist Church at Montezuma, and just appreciate the work of Parke Without Reverse and their ability to connect people with government. And I believe that Christians need to be connected with government and be aware of what's taking place. We've come alongside them to help for a couple of months to get the town council and board meetings out. But would like to invite you, if you don't have a church home, to the Independent Baptist Church in Montezuma. Our services are Sunday morning at 10:30. We have adult Bible classes and children's classes at 9:30. If we could ever do anything for you, you can contact me at mib.church. Thanks for watching.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Start off with the minutes of the previous meeting. You guys got your copies, and there's a copy in there for you.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we got claims and warrants, end of month. Excuse me. July 2024, $45,645.53. And for this meeting tonight, August 15th, $121,254.60. And I have a motion to approve those.
I move that we approve the claims and warrants for end of month July and for August 15th, as stated here.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And we need a motion to pay industrial supply for a claim of $99.97.
I'll make a motion to pay industrial supply for $99.97.
Second. Abstain.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Payroll warrants for 7/25, 8/1, 8/8, 8/15 in the amount of $35,437.85.
I'll make a motion to pay the payment of warrants.
You feeling better?
My voice is
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Coach is gonna cry.
It's just going in and out. I don't know. I feel great.
Just put my
You
tongue.
got that one?
It just helps you.
Huh?
Just helps you make me quiet.
Oh, really? Good name for me. I can approve. got bank reconciliations for the end of the month, July 2024. Utilities, $2,791,481.02. For the town, $855,097.20. Payroll, $2,643.78. And customer deposit, $37,165.00.
I move to approve the bank reconciliations for the end of month July 24 as stated.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Scott, you wanna go? Or you got some traveling to do?
I do, although I would like to hear what Bruce has to say. Just kind of get an update on what's going on with the sewer plant before I leave, so.
We were getting about 2 weeks out of each southwest, out of the south sand beds. We were switching them every 2 weeks, now we're down to every week we have to switch them. So those south sand beds are going pretty fast. Luckily, the north sand bed that we had trouble with the overflow last year, it never has ponded again, so it's been a couple of months. We'll see, we never have fired the other one back up that was ponding bad, so if we have to, we'll have to switch everything to the north side and just pray that those two keep us going. Yeah, I'm not sure, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
So with that in the back of our minds, I called Pat Callahan, talked to Pat last week, partly about the gas rate, which we'll talk about, but also about the upcoming water project and the plan for a sewer project, and to go ahead and borrow some money for the sewer plant in case we needed to take care of the problem. Pat does rate stuff. Pat still wants to do rate stuff. Pat does not want to do any kind of financing stuff, bonds and loans and things like that. There's a long story. Pat retired like 4 years ago. He let a certification lapse. He though gave me the name of a guy, and I don't remember the name of the firm now. His name is Jim Higgins that Pat has worked with. He said he known him for years. They used to, not compete, but they did the same thing, and he's referred a lot of people to this Jim Higgins. So I talked to Jim Higgins, mostly about the water project, but also about the sewer, because the water, we're right next to needing to start to do some stuff. Probably next month or so. So I did speak with Jim a couple times, sent him all the information, a lot of the information I had on the water project. Spoke with him again yesterday. I think he'd be a good guy for us to use. I don't have a contract for him. I said I wanted to talk to you guys first. His fees are going to be pretty reasonable. He understands that Pat's already done a lot of the work, and Pat will still continue to do the work on trying to determine what the rate needs to be. But Jim would take the stuff with SRF. There are pages and pages of reports that have to be submitted to SRF, due diligence documents. He'll be bugging you for a lot of stuff. So I don't know, I just wanted to let you guys know about that and see if you'd be okay. I could get his stuff for our next meeting, contract with him. I mean, we can go out and try and find some other people too. I talked to the bond lawyer, Brenda DeVries, who we agreed to hire last month. She knew Jim. She said, yeah, he's good. He's in an office with 5 or 6 other accountants, I'd say, something like that. So he's not a one-man show. And we all love Pat, but Pat's a one-man show. And sometimes I think he falls a little behind. as want to do. So, any objections to me continuing to talk with Jim? And I know the sewer ban. I've talked to him about the sewer ban as well. In some respects, that's not as lengthy a process. It's not as involved, but he will need to get into that a little bit. So the idea was we'll work on this water stuff and then transition over, start doing the sewer stuff too. The other thing that I handed out to you earlier was gas rate increase. We're going to increase gas rates per Pat's recommendation. This is just for first approval tonight. We do want to come back then at your September, I think it's 4th or 5th meeting to have a second vote on it, give it some time. If you were to approve it in September, it would go into effect in October. It is I don't know the last time you increased gas rates. It's been probably the very early 2000s maybe.
It was when the gas project, the
Late
new
90s?
gas lines were put in. There was some done in 98, then after it was all said and done, final numbers
Settled
come
down.
in, it was 99.
Okay, so I know it's been, because I've been town attorney for a long time, it feels like, and I've never tweaked the gas rates. There is no requirement that I could find. I confirmed this with Pat. We don't have to publish notices or do anything like that, like we do with water and sewer rates. That only applies to water and sewer rates. But you guys have seen all the numbers, and like I said, 25 some years probably since you've had a gas rate increase, base rate increase. Now the tracker is still part of this, so the tracker is a big determinant of what the gas bills are. And so right now that tracker is actually negative. That's because of that big refund mostly, I think. But eventually things will, start to settle back up, so that's the gas rate ordinance. But
So we need to go ahead and vote to
you
continue.
vote
with
this
this.
evening and come back in September and vote if it is approved tonight, and then it will become final.
So I make a motion to accept the ordinance for the Indian gas rate increase.
I'll second.
All in favor?
We'll have it again next month for final. I did confirm with Pat today. I had Pat look it over just to make sure. He caught one typo, but it wasn't a number, thankfully. We fixed that. And then John and I have had a few emails about the property down on North Jefferson Street. I'm still not 100% sure who these people all are. So he's going to get me some stuff that he has, and we'll try and figure out how to give notice and who to give notice to. I did notice the taxes are pretty delinquent on it, and I suspect it's probably there's a tax sale coming up at the county next month.
It is. And
I heard it was, but I haven't.
I was going to talk to Cindy. There's a couple others in town that I know there's back taxes on that might be a time for us to do like we've done a few times with redevelopment or partnership or whatever hat she's wearing that day. But go to the commissioners, and if nobody pays the back taxes on these at the sale, then maybe they can transfer their certificates to us. We can get ownership of them and try and get them cleaned up, or try and get somebody else to buy them.
I think she's gone this week.
This week or
This week, I think.
That's good, because I had that on my thing to maybe talk to her about it. I mean, I don't think we should necessarily wait to go clean it up until we own it, but if we ever were to own it, but we do need to make sure we're giving notice to the right person. And there's a guy who I don't quite understand, maybe he paid the taxes on it, or it's an odd thing, but John said he thought he had some paperwork on it or something, maybe, so.
I did somewhere.
Yeah.
I knew you were leaving early though, so I didn't drag
So
on.
it's fine. That's most of what I had, guys. So if there's anything else,
Anybody got anything for Scott?
well, thank you.
have a safe trip.
Yeah, have a safe trip.
I have one question. Did you hear anything
No,
from
I talked-
SRF about the basketball?
No,
court?
I talked to Dustin about it Tuesday though, and he thinks that we'll probably get a better answer after Oprah announces their grant stuff, which is coming up end of this month.
Okay.
And I do know they're pretty busy with the stuff they're trying to close right now. And once they get through they'll start to focus on our project, let's see, July, August, after September is really when they'll start to focus on our project. Because they do things in quarters there. So July, August, September, they do those. Then they move to the next group. And we're in that second, it's their second quarter, it's our fourth quarter. And he said, once you get your Okra money, because I said, you know, is there somebody else we should be talking to? And he said, I think they're just probably waiting to see where things end up, and they need some of this rate analysis stuff and some of these financial documents from Pat and Jim, I think, when they see. Jim felt like I do. He said, I think that they'll come through with, last time they gave us an offer of $5 million, which of course is not an offer you're going to refuse. But you know, the question is, can we get them to give you some more to try and buy that rate down a little bit? And so his experience has been much like mine. They usually come through, and given where you rank on the project priority list, you know, that bodes well. But you know, I had a final vote on a rate with Cayuga Tuesday night, and I didn't know for sure the final numbers from SRF until the Thursday before. So they like to run things up to the numbers. So.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll see you next couple weeks.
All right.
My wife does the driving. We found it's better if I sit way in the back.
Yeah.
And put my headphones on and just get there somehow.
Bye.
John?
Okay, yeah, we'll start on the police side. So, since August 1st, 27 calls for service, resulting in 3 felony arrests, 1 misdemeanor arrest, 5 warnings, and 2 citations. Have some training coming up in September that we talked about last month. I just put it on here so Kathy has it in her notes. We're working on ordinance stuff as time allows. Some of it's pretty time consuming behind the scenes to try to get some information nailed down to get the approval from Scott to go ahead. Other than that, it's been pretty much business as usual, and we appreciate your support. On the utility side, Brian Gum had called me about the skid steer, and it was my understanding that we were going to purchase the skid steer and rent the trencher attachment when we need it, right? Is that what the agreement was?
Yeah.
I think that's a good
That's what's
idea.
in the
If we want to buy one down the road, that's a different story, but I think we ought to get it out and try it before we invest in it too much. The GMC truck had a recall that's been taken care of. A1 Construction's expecting to start on the library roof the week end of 8/23. So, pending he gets the materials next Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And he was very adamant that he doesn't want anybody below him when he does the tear off, so in case one would fall through or something. So you're not open Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What's your schedule like?
We'll be closed for the roofing.
Okay.
I'm hoping to get some long overdue vacation time.
Okay. So next Friday, that's what he's shooting for. What, of course, material and weather pending. So it may.
So it's going to be the last week.
The 23rd, I think, is what he's saying.
23rd, 24th, and 25th.
My board meeting Wednesday.
That's all subject to change depending on.
Yeah.
I sent you guys the email of the presentation that we gave to the Chamber of Commerce yesterday. A lot of people there, good turnout. We submitted the water loss for 23 to FA, and I think it was about 36%. So she approved it, said she would tell me if she needed any more. The utility crew's prepping for another round of mosquito spraying after this rain comes through. And then the water tap's complete for the new laundromat at 49 Crawford. And starting to acquire parts for Nathan Gill's 1.5-inch water line, which that's something we kind of need to talk about. That water me and Brad were talking today, is across the road. And I wasn't there for that meeting when you guys did the exploratory dig. But there was something about moving the sewer pit on his side so we didn't have to tear up the blacktop. Well, I'm assuming that we're not going to want to bore that line, that water line under the road. So as long as you guys are okay with it for a financial standpoint, we're probably just going to saw cut it. Unless you got a better idea or another idea.
Yeah, the idea on the sewer pit was that it's gonna have to be so deep, it'll be a block wide. So.
Yeah. And then we were looking, this ain't really something that we can resolve tonight, but the parks for that, we haven't got the final bill yet, but the parks just for that 1.5 meter and everything we need is about $4,000. Our tap fee is $345. We don't even currently have a tap to tap the 1.5. We can get one, rent one. If we were to buy one, it's $2,400, but if we buy it, it's probably gonna sit on the shelf for 5 or 10 years. So it doesn't really make sense. So I called Ronnie from UMAC today, Ronnie Black, and he told me that he was asking what we were doing, and he said that he doesn't even have an 1.5 tap that people that he buys his parts from, he just rents it from for $75 because he doesn't tap 1.5 very often. So he recommended that's what we do. He did say that he would look at your commercial tap fees. Residentials are pretty standard, but he said from what he gathers from other towns that he deals with, that the commercial tap fees are kind of a pass-through. You know, I don't necessarily know that or think that Nathan Gill would do it, but if we invest $4,000 to $5,000 in this tap fee and a month from now he says, turn it off, I don't want it. Sure, we'll have some parts to use somewhere, but
if we need it.
where are we ever going to need them at, right? So that's just something to think about going forward. They did put new water meters, 1-inch water meters at the WRCTE building, the firehouse in Ron Wallace. They've painted parking lines and the handicap spots out here in the parking lot. I don't know if you noticed that on the way in.
Nice.
Looks nice.
The new riser and weatherhead have been installed at the library in preparation for the new roof. And they did take that security light, I guess you would call it, on the southeast corner. They disconnected it just so that power isn't across the top of the roof while they're working. And they painted the door trim on the chapel. I've not been up there to look at it, but it's got to look better. We've got 16 electric meters that have been updated. Joink has not started boring in town. I did meet with the president yesterday. He was at that meeting that I was at. And I expressed some concerns with him, and they had some guys show up today. I was busy, and they dropped off some detailed maps. If anybody wants to see like a detailed plan of their boring, I have them. This next one's something that we can't forget. They actually have given a date for the Indiana Finance Regional Planning meeting. That's the one that we, if we're going to get grant funding, that we have to have a representative. Isn't that right, Kathy?
Yes.
So I'm in training. I don't know who you want to go or it's in Petersburg. I sent an email. It's got a link to sign up, however you guys want to do it. So
When is that?
September 4th.
Yeah.
We just got to make sure we get somebody there. And then she sent an email as a reminder. I've also put it in my notes at the long-term gas discount meeting. It's the 28th of this month. It's in Illinois. Or he said that he could set up a Microsoft Teams meeting and go through it if that's what you chose. But somebody had told me they were going to go to that, and I don't remember who it was.
Didn't we do the Microsoft last time? In
We
your
did.
office?
Yeah, he said he could set that up, but I need to let him know who and when, or get a date from him. Where's Red Bud at in Illinois?
I haven't even looked.
My wife does. She's been there before.
Is it far away?
About 150 miles,
150.
one way.
He's up for it.
I forget the name of the town now. I've mapped it.
It's not the one that's
I
in
right here.
Paris. Out in the boondocks.
Red Bud, Red Bud, Illinois.
Yeah. Get free lunch.
6 hours drive.
Not at 15 miles a gallon.
This says 220 miles one way.
You might want to do a team meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I would get with him, Kathy, and just see what his availability is.
Okay.
I can definitely set it up, and whoever wants to attend can attend.
You get it set up, let me know.
And then I think I've covered everything. Is there anything, Brad?
One thing I forgot was flushing hydrants, September 9th.
Yeah.
Unless you have questions, that's all I've got to present. So thank you again for all your support.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the 9th, get my free car wash.
Hey, we didn't do it on the first day of school this year.
Yeah.
Good job. It's been a rough week up there for them.
Just looking towards making sure we get everything cleaned up we can before covered bridge coming up. North end still got that trailer. And see if we can put some pressure on the trailer park owner or something to maybe do something like that. The one in the trailer park there that's that burned down. It's pretty unsightly. I don't know what kind of host of critters is living up in there.
And I had talked to, this was in relation to another issue that I was having, but I talked to Diane Peterson, which has since changed roles somehow, but she thought that maybe she could help us with that. So I'll touch back. I'm not so sure that the guy that owns it's ever actually laid eyes on it, so.
I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
He just gets rent lot checks every month and pays the taxes.
That's what's worrisome about that reader house.
Yeah, it's gonna be quite a, even if a couple of weeks, it's gonna be quite a bit of work to get it even presentable. But there's a lot of stuff can be knocked down. The nice thing is now it's getting later in the summer and stuff it's flourishing quite as much as it was.
Yeah, once we figure out, really, I've already sent the notice, but I just gotta make sure that my preparations make Scott happy, so he'll back me up. And we'll go in and take care of it, so.
That's all I got.
Yeah. How about the yards, since this is the last
Oh, it is
meeting of the
that
month?
time.
I thought we picked them on the first Thursday.
And then we put it out the first of the
Oh, we
month.
got it.
When did you put those out?
Just last week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've only been out a week or so.
We got 3 weeks yet.
Oh, okay.
Still got enough.
We can award it in the projects meeting every month, I guess.
Okay,
That would. It's up to you guys.
That'd be great.
that's fine.
Sure.
I made my phone call to Alan Lynch and he promises a quote in September on the sound or video system. So
Okay.
that's all I got.
All right. Doesn't have anything.
So complaints on like sewer smell within houses, I've had a few people mention it. I've smelt it. Is that maybe to do with the beds being the way they're acting out? No? So do we know what that is from?
That's typical with those candy canes. They will have a gas smell to them.
Okay.
Really?
We don't have it very often, but every now and then it's pretty potent, depending, and I just didn't know with him saying how I hadn't had it in a long time, and then he said about the beds, so I was just curious if that related at all. Okay.
No,
It's really bad when it's foggy in the morning. It holds the air down so that sewer gas doesn't escape into the atmosphere. It stays down to the ground, and it's really noticeable then, so.
Maybe that's it, because we've had
We've
quite a
had
few.
a lot of fog lately,
Yeah,
so that's
yeah.
probably got a lot to do with it, so.
Okay.
yeah, that's,
And the real humid, dense air. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, that's the treatment system is what the issue is, but the transport system
Okay.
is different.
Okay. I've just had people ask me, and I've smelt it too, so just asking. I'm good.
I don't have anything. Just a resolution for the additional appropriation.
Need to have you've got a resolution 2024-08-01, additional appropriation resolution that we need to speak to and pass it tonight. Correct? Any questions about that, or?
Nope. I'll make a motion to approve the resolution 2024-08-01.
And I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And do I have the authority to sign that purchase agreement with them, or based upon the terms that were provided, or how's that?
Yeah, as long as I get it in here. And then we can-
I mean, I expect when I be down with it, but.
Well, that was Scott's recommendation last time. You're doing all the legwork, there's no sense, any reason why you can't.
Now, I do have to tomorrow submit this to Gateway online before we can write any checks.
So what do you want me to tell him? Like, it's not super pressing, so you just tell me what.
Tuesday, Wednesday,
Okay,
because I'll probably get a response by then.
I'll just tell him after Wednesday. How about that?
Okay, that'll be good.
Anything else, Kevin?
Nope, that's it.
Bruce?
Like I said, they're still maintaining down there. I did have a question. It's about that time of year to clean that phosphorus tank out, and I kind of put it off a little bit because I didn't really know what we were going to do, you know? I wasn't sure what the plans were. I mean, if we're not going to continue to run that plant, I would just wait, and then we'll have to pump all that out then. I wasn't sure what was really going to happen, so to do the phosphorus tank and clean the ammonia tank was right around $4,000 last year, so. You guys think about it.
Yeah.
You think about it, and I'll bring the quotes to the next meeting, and we can decide, I guess, what you want to do then.
Do you have a feeling on the timeline of when it's gonna have to be done?
Well, we gotta do it before winter time, before it gets cold, so.
I'd say
That's what we usually
we might as well go ahead and do it
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
and just get it done.
All right.
Right? I mean, it's gotta be done, so.
We have a new inspector, and I haven't met him yet, so we lost our inspector, and you know, he might have been a hothead, but he's probably the best one out there. He was really a good guy to work
Yeah.
with, and they moved him to the Southern District, so I don't know what we're getting next. That's scary.
Just hope for the
At least I
best.
know what you had before.
Yeah. 'Cause I've met several of the new ones, and it's not good.
What about the other tanks? Are they okay?
Yeah, the other tanks are okay right now, so. We always have to do that ammonia tank every year. Pull the cubes out and clean it. And, that phosphorus tank, it's got over 7 feet in it right now, so it needs to be decanted and pumped out and cleaned and.
Thank
That's
you.
all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Diana?
Thanks, I wanted you to look at your packet that I gave you. We have 2 new logos that Cindy created. One is for Pranks in the Park, And I asked to make sure that we put Montezuma, Indiana Park Board on there because there are other Montezumas, and I wanted to make sure that we were designated. We're gonna try to have some shirts made that say, "I survived the scare," and Frank's in the Park, Montezuma, Indiana. And so that'll help us raise some funds, hopefully. And then the chili cook-off logo is this one. And the chili cook-off will be Saturday, February 15th, 2025. So we're already looking into the new year. So we can use this logo for our aprons that we have embroidered for the prizes and whatever. So that's that. And then I also put a flyer in your packet for Pranks in the Park. The scare is back. Jerry and Emily are going to do the scaring down at the Canal Road again. So it should be a fun time. And then we had people standing in the rain to get on those silly wagons to go ride down Canal Road. So and we had 250 people. So it's everybody enjoys it, and it's a good community evening. And I won't read it all to you what's going to be available there, but we are going to have the Halloween yard decorating contest again. That went over pretty well. We didn't have a whole lot of people that volunteered to do it, but it was a last minute thing last year, so we're hoping to get more people this year. And then, let's see, I wanted to let you know that I talked to Kathy. Cody is not going to be able to pour the concrete for the camping sites, so we're still trying to get with Kyle Shannon to see about having him pour that concrete there. We're going to delay the river access and walkout down at the boat ramp until we can find out whether the splash pad is a go or a no-go. And so that was the feeling of the park board at the meeting Sunday. Let's see, Cindy and several of the park board members are going to stain the Eagle Scout shelter at the South End Reader Park and try to get that looking better, and probably start that pretty soon. I don't know if you knew it or not, but Bob Stewart had been working on patching the walking path, especially around the memorial, and to try to make it look nice where the memorial was. So he was doing that, and I spoke with Kathy about a list of items on the website that had to do with the park board and the park events that were no longer valid. And so she and I are working on that. And I think that that's it. I did tell the park board about the ADA playground access, and that we'll probably just forego even thinking about it because it doesn't seem to be a priority, so there's no need to, if it ain't broke, we aren't going to fix it. So I think that's about it, isn't it, Paul?
I think so.
I think it's, we're just in the, we're trying to accomplish our to-do list on the Pranks in the Park, and Paul's going to build another larger wagon so we can send out more people at one time rather than sending out more of the smaller wagons. So anyway, fun evening. Come down and join us if you can. And we'll have the trunk or treat as well. And Bruce and Clyde are going to be Frankenstein and the Hoosier Witch and tell haunted Hoosier stories. So we just have a good time. And Charlie will do the music. So I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am? Anything?
Jan, did you?
I don't have anything.
Good.
Reruns for the month, 88 for the year. We're still researching to increase our capabilities on for river and water rescues. So we haven't, it's tough funding and all that, so trying to keep it within reason. We're looking at all options, so it's still on the table.
Okay.
Other than that, appreciate everything.
No, thank you. Graham?
Okay, well, I have my list of requests for the Bridge Festival, but before I start, I want to ask for the option to correct or add if necessary, because I could only find a 3-year-old version of my requests to build on. I know that Penny has already asked for permission to close basically Crawford all the way from the west of North Washington Street for the vendors, and from Friday, October 4th through October 21st, with optional use of Crawford between Washington and Jefferson Streets. But I'm also going to ask for permission to close Washington from East Crawford to Wilkeson on Saturday the 12th from noon until 5 p.m. for a street party. There's some kind of music and dancing or something going on. More details will follow, I'm sure. Request electricity in the festival area from Monday, October 7th through the end of Sunday, the 20th. Request picnic tables to be placed near vendor trailers on Crawford. And may we please have 2 picnic tables in the tent. Requesting 9 trash cans for the festival area, 2 to be used for the vertical posts to mount the festival banner. Here's the butter up. Brad's crew did such a great job last year when they saw how sad the thing was hanging, that they really constructed the banner across Crawford, and we're hoping that we can talk them into doing that again this year.
Yeah, we can do that.
Did I do that? Did I do that good? Okay, thank you.
They put a tree in the middle of the street, they can do anything.
Right, yeah.
Maybe there'll be a crawler in it for you there.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Request use of the town's Kubota side-by-side and the tour trailer during the Covered Bridge Festival. See, I asked for the wagon
Good
this
job.
year.
Good job. Great.
Yeah. Request permission to place as many as 6 country store signs and banners on Jefferson in front of the Scout House and in the median, the end cap on the east end at Crawford Street. Request permission to park the canal tour trailer in front of the shack on North Washington during the festival days. And my usual note, the Kubota will be relocated to Chuck and Anita garage at the end of each day, and they don't know that yet. But they're usually amenable. That's everything I have.
Okay, is there any issue with anybody? No.
I
Have at it.
All right,
Good luck.
thank you.
You get that? Huh? No.
Then I make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Thank you, everybody.